From the beginning of our efforts in 2008 to help businesses successfully use social media, we've used Mayberry as a perfect metaphor for the new small-town economy. Welcome to Monetizing Mayberry. I'm Mark Bortz, the founder of Mayberry, and this is Matt Cost, our digital marketing director. Digital marketing is much like Mayberry. Instead of pushing out a brand message through broadcast media, businesses pull customers in by building relationships and inspiring brand advocates.
We've developed this series entitled Monetizing Mayberry to walk you through the steps to leveraging the digital marketing platforms and grow your business. Our ultimate goal is to see your organization profit from using social media.
These 10 chapters build upon each other to prepare you for realizing real results on the path to success with digital marketing. If you're joining us for the first time, we encourage you to start from Chapter 1. We hope you enjoy.
Goober Pyle and his cousin Gomer ran Wally's filling station in Mayberry. Though not at the same time, Goober eventually took over as the owner and manager once Gomer joined the Marine Corps. Goober Pyle was portrayed on the show as backwards and not very bright, but Goober could fix cars, and just as importantly in the eyes of his friends, Goober's shortcomings were far outweighed by his gentle and generous spirit. Wally's filling station didn't just pump gas. People came to Wally's to get more than gas. They came for a service experience and a social experience. Goober wouldn't just pump your gas for you. He would check your oil, wash your windows, and put air in your tires. All the while, customers had a chance to catch up with a friend. In one episode, Sheriff Andy Taylor and Floyd the Barber actually argue over which one of the two is Goober's best friend. The people of Mayberry supported Wally's filling station because they knew Gomer and Goober, and they liked Gomer and Goober. And they trusted Gomer and Goober. Goober's customers didn't just want to do business with Goober, they wanted to see Goober's business succeed. They were invested in Wally's filling station because of their relationship with Goober.
People who are invested in the outcome of a business are far more likely to be loyal to that business and more likely to promote it to their friends. We know from previous chapters that having your community promote your business on your behalf is the primary benefit of social marketing. Personal endorsements from friends can't be facilitated through traditional media like they can through the social networks. People are putting far more stock in the recommendations of their friends than in the marketing messages of businesses. If you can get your community on your team, like Goober did, you'll have an invaluable marketing asset. We call these kinds of community members brand advocates. These are simply people who advocate for your brand in their networks.
So how do you develop a team of loyal customers, these brand advocates? Let's start by looking at why people root for individual businesses. Meet Joel. Joel works in our office. He runs Nashville Guitar Store, and he does a fine job. Joel eats at a local restaurant right down the street here in Franklin called Frothy Monkey. Joel eats there a lot, actually, almost every day. Not only does Joel like eating there, but he likes to tell his friends about eating there. He posts pictures of what he eats and shares them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Then he tags Frothy Monkey in those pictures so that everyone will know where the particular dish came from. Joel wants to see Frothy Monkey do well. It makes him happy when he meets other people who enjoy eating there. The food at Frothy Monkey is pretty standard Southern fare: bacon and eggs, pancakes for breakfast, sandwiches and salads for lunch. It's good food. But if you were to put Joel in a blind taste test with many other restaurants in town, he may or may not rank Frothy Monkey as the #1 restaurant. He may not even be able to tell the difference between Frothy Monkey and a similar competitor. But you see, Frothy Monkey is a locally owned restaurant. Joel knows the owner, he knows the manager, and he's friends with the staff. They call him by name when he walks in. Frothy Monkey gets a lot of its food from local farmers and growers. Joel likes doing business with people. He likes being a part of this tight-knit community. He likes knowing he's supporting the local agriculture business. He wants to see the restaurant succeed because he's invested in the people there. He has a stake in the business because his friends have a stake in the business.
Now, many of you probably have similar businesses that you support. Whether it's the mom and pop hardware store owned by your friends from church, or the large national bank chain that sponsors your daughter's soccer team. You root for them to succeed because you're invested in a relationship. Look at Harley Davidson. People around the world root for Harley Davidson. You would be hard-pressed to find a better example of a brand advocate than a Harley Davidson owner. See, people don't just buy Harley motorcycles. They buy Harley t-shirts and jackets and helmets and bumper stickers. There are Harley clubs, events, and a Harley Davidson museum. Licensing the Harley Davidson brand and logo accounted for $40 million in 2010. Harley owners identify themselves by the brand of motorcycle they ride. Harley owners aren't just a group of people that ride motorcycles, they're a fraternity. Harley owners recruit their friends to ride Harleys. Harley owners want you to know that they're not just riding a motorcycle, they're riding a Harley. Harley Davidson netted $5.3 billion in revenue in 2011. Yet very rarely do you ever hear about the specific features of a Harley motorcycle. Marketing messages rarely mention CCs or crankshafts or torque. Maybe among the gearheads you would hear these features listed, but the corporate messages are always centered around freedom and rebellion and the Harley fraternity. That's because Harley Davidson doesn't just want to sell motorcycles. They want to create a community experience for their riders. We've developed quite a few marketing campaigns for Harley Davidson dealers over the years, and the message they want to communicate is always the same. Come be a part of the Harley community. Bring your Harley to the community picnic. Come join us for a Harley group ride. Take a tour of our showroom. Those who are already a part of the community want to see the community experience survive and thrive. They want to invite their friends into the community. They identify themselves by the community. Harley owners are invested in Harley the way Joel is invested in Frothy Monkey, and the way Mayberry is invested in Wally's filling station. If Harley and Frothy Monkey and Wally's lose value, their customers lose something of value.
Customers root for these businesses. They become brand advocates, and they encourage their friends to do business where they do business. Your business can create a team of brand advocates just like Goober's, and you can use your online presence to do it. There are two primary ways to develop brand advocates. Number one, humanize your brand. People want to do business with people, not institutions. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to go where people know people are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
Cheers to that, Matt. But seriously, this seems like an easy principle to grasp, but it actually runs contrary to the modern business mentality where bigger is better. In the age of push marketing, being a giant corporate enterprise gives a brand credibility. If your company has was big enough to acquire massive amounts of resources, it was obviously doing something right. Even if your business wasn't a large institution, you wanted to portray that it was in your branding and your marketing messages. That thinking has changed in recent years. Corporate scandals, mismanagement, and ethical violations have given rise to serious consumer skepticism. No longer are institutions given the benefit of the doubt based on the ubiquitousness of the brand. On the contrary, the larger a business enterprise becomes, the more skeptical customers become of the business's motivations. Consumers want to be taken back behind the veil. They want to know who the people are behind the business. How are the products made? Who makes them? Who is providing the service? Do I trust those people? Do I like those people?
Consumers can't get answers to those questions until the corporate walls come down. What your audience wants is not a dog and pony show. They're too smart for that. What they want is a backstage pass. A backstage pass gives the audience the ultimate behind-the-scenes look at a band. A backstage pass makes the band more accessible, more tangible, and more human. But it also makes the band more vulnerable. Fans can see the stars without makeup and wardrobe. They can see the stars interact with friends and family. Fans may end up being disappointed or disillusioned by what they see backstage. But that's rarely the case. Far more often than not, fans developed a tighter bond with the band. Their support for the band typically grows stronger. Look at the hit show Duck Dynasty. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know Duck Dynasty is a reality show profiling the Robertson family and their family business, Duck Commander. Founded by Phil Robinson and now run by sons Willie and Jace, Duck Commander produces duck calls. The reality show depicts the family as backwoods millionaires in rural Louisiana. The Duck Commander management team is a dysfunctional bunch of avid outdoorsmen with long beards and bandanas. They often use the workplace for taking naps and playing practical jokes. Duck calls are seldom the focus of the Robertson brothers on any particular episode. But the Robertson family has won over the hearts of millions of viewers over the last 2 years with their strong family ties and faith convictions. The show is the most watched documentary-style reality show on TV, drawing 9.6 million viewers to the finale of Season 3. And now for the point of the story. In 2011, the company sold 60,000 duck calls. In 2012, they sold 300,000. They even had to open up a gift shop in the warehouse to handle the crowds of people who wanted to visit the Duck Commander headquarters. Showing the human side of your business gives your followers a part of you to connect with. After all, that's what they came to you for, a social relationship. Introduce, profile, and highlight your employees. Post photos of real people and tag them in those photos. Share updates on the things you personally care about. Share your individuality, your quirks, your sense of humor. You can't be all things to all people, but that's not even what your community is looking for. They just want to know who you are. Showing individualism or personality would seem to lack mass appeal, but the mass appeal approach of decades gone by is no longer appealing to anyone. In today's economy, your business needs to meet specific needs for niche groups. Once those niche groups join your team as brand advocates, they'll take your message to the masses for you. And coming from them, it'll have a much greater appeal.
Step 2 in building your team of brand advocates. Create a community experience around your brand. The trick here is to take the spotlight off yourself for a moment. In order to create a community experience, you must facilitate a connection, not just between you and your customer, but between your customer and other customers. Connections between customers could simply come in the form of a conversation on your blog page or Facebook comment section. You must provide the content that brings them together and the platform that allows them to connect. Instead of advertising features of your product or your service, think instead of telling stories that relate to your customers. Paint pictures for your customers of what life for others who've purchased your product or service is like. Anytime you have access to a customer testimonial, a story, a photo, display it prominently in the networks, encouraging others to submit their stories or photos of their own. By taking the spotlight off of yourself and putting it onto your customers, you've developed a platform for others to share their stories and to feel a part of the community. Having customers who feel a part of your community is the first step in developing a successful team, just like Goober's done. Customers who feel a part of your team can drive your brand further than you ever could on your own. The social networks are an ideal platform to develop members of your community who advocate for your brand among their friends. A team of brand advocates won't create itself, though. You must leverage both your profile and your platform to encourage customers to take an ownership stake in your business. Be a human. Show the individuality and the personality of your business and its people. And take the focus off of yourself. Put it on your customers and your community. Soon, you'll have a team of raving brand advocates, just like Goober.
Thank you for tuning in to Monetizing Mayberry. We hope you're not only learning what digital marketing is, but how it can benefit your business's bottom line.
Over the next several chapters of this series, we'll continue to unpack the principles of Mayberry. These principles will provide you both the education and the application necessary to understand and implement a successful digital communication strategy for your business. A strategy that will help you make money.
Both Matt and I will lead you through the matrix of understanding, designing, developing, managing, and implementing. We believe that with the right elements, you will succeed and you'll gain real benefit from your efforts. If you're an owner or a C-level executive, I certainly encourage you to make your way through the entire series. It's critical that you understand and you support those that you have empowered to be social on your behalf.
If you're a marketing administrator, you'll absolutely want to attend every step of the way and be taking notes. We'll be providing you foundational building blocks, strategic concepts, and practical applications in every session. Join us again for the next chapter of Monetizing Mayberry.